It's Friday. It's time to make a new video. What should we talk about today? I have an idea. Somebody asked me, make a video about what you do to buy a guitar, what you look for. It's okay, because it's a good idea, and I'm going to make it better. I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of things that people will tell you to do that is complete bullshit you shouldn't do. First off the bat, you're a musician, you're a guitar player, are you not? You have a certain style. You like blue shirts, Joe likes green. Susie likes pants, Barbara likes skirts. Well, that goes the same way with a musician, right? So if somebody tells you you got to get the lightest 59, and you got to get a darkest board you can get, the greatest flame top, and you got to have, it's got to be this way. Remember, okay, please remember this. That's bullshit. That is complete bullshit. Lighter guitars do not sound better than heavier guitars. They sound different. Different. Slightly different. Also, there's a lot of myths that go around for a lot of different reasons. The myths primarily come from the original bursts, and they seep into the historics. Of course, they're going to do that. But most of them are bullshit. Some original 59, 58, 57 original Les Pauls were heavy. They were. That's just the way it is. Some Telecasters from the 50s are heavy as fuck. That's the way it is. I used to have very light 59s. In 2001, Richie Friedman and Dave Davison got me two 2001s, and they were light as hell. I mean, they were light as hell. Like you couldn't believe it. And I don't know, but they sounded okay. They sounded great. But as the years went by, I noticed that I favored a little heavier. For me, it just sounded better. It had more projection. It wasn't. It still had that woody quality people want, but it still had that. It had a corkiness. I like to call it a cork. It's too airy. I need some kind of solid soundish to it. Difficult to explain. We all know how hard it is to explain tone. So again, I evolved to coming to a conclusion of what I technically like, weight-wise. I like the 8.5, 8.25, 9. I won't go past 9. Then it is a little heavy. This is like 8.5, 8.25. I don't know. I haven't weighed this in a long time. But weight was never a massive thing for me. Weight is going to affect the tone, but it's not going to affect the tone that much, people. It's just not. It's more along the lines of a lot of old guys who just can't hold the guitar up on stage anymore and want to light a guitar. And that's how the Cloud 9s came about. Because of that. Because people wanted lighter guitars. So they said, I got an idea. We'll just take all the wood out. No, it's gonna suck. It's gonna sound like shit. No, it won't. Watch. Let's just do it and find out. Then they did it. And that's the Cloud 9 series. And again, the Cloud 9s sound great. They don't sound bad. They don't. And they're chambered. And I don't want no chambered guitar. And I don't want no chambered, I don't want no chambered 59 Les Paul, but sound quality, they're still nice. Next thing I look for, okay, is the top. As a matter of fact, it's probably primarily the thing that you first do. You walk into a guitar store and you look on the fucking wall and you go, oh shit, what's that? Oh, when did you get this in? What the fuck is that? Oh, let me play that. That's the first fucking thing you look at, and everybody does that, and that's the way it is. And because that's what you want, right? Give me that flame top. Look at that. Holy shit. And then you take it down, you play it, then the real judge comes to play. I look for flats on. I look for flitch matched. I want to see the grain pattern. I want to see flames, because remember, grain is the wood, not the flame. Flame is something different. I want to see that. I want to see flex. I want to see imperfection, not holes. I know you're very rarely going to get a knot hole, but I like that. I want to see imperfections. I like that. I want to see that it's a piece of wood. Okay? This one's got all kinds of shit going on. The Richmond's got all kinds of things. See this flat sawn area here. It's got flex. The flame is all over the place. It's straighter here. It's crazier here. And it's got movement. So that, in other words, you can, oh, it's flamier here. It's not flamier there. It's like peekaboo tops. Remember them? Remember what peekaboo tops were? Peekaboo tops. Hey, peekaboo, peekaboo. Right? I like that. The backs too. I mean, same kind of thing. See this long ass mineral streak down the thing? I love this. This is fabulous. I love this. I love this. As a matter of fact, we'll get into the fretboard next. But that's the first thing you look for, and that's what I like. I don't like chevrons. People with the really tight ones. I don't like the really high ones. The lower ones I kind of dig. They're not bad. As long as it's got some wide flame going on there, I'm good. But I never was a big fan of chevrons. Pinstripes. I had a pinstripe once. Not bad. Quilt. Let's talk about quilt. Quilt doesn't belong on a historic Les Paul. They do make them. You can get a quilt top, 59 historic Les Paul. I had one. I had a 58 with quilt. It was a lemon drop. Beautiful guitar. They didn't use quilt maple in the 50s. They used Easton maple. It had all kinds of ribbon curl. You had, the stuff, in bird's eye they had, but they did not have quilt. And for me, personally, I always think it's out of place. It belongs on a Paul Reed Smith. You gave me a Paul Reed Smith with a good quilt top. Oh yeah, but this, it didn't work for me. So I sold the one I had. And believe it or not, it's hard to sell a quilt top one because most people won't like, because you want the original design, you want the whole package, you don't want something a little out of the ordinary. And when you get a lot of them like I have, sometimes you go, hey, shit, let's get a fucking pink one, why not? Because then you get to, I have what I want, let's try to go crazy and do something else. And it's always cool to do that. Billy Gibbons does that. And he has great shit. When you see some of his shit, like, wow, that's really cool. But that man has hundreds of thousands of fucking guitars by now, so he can do whatever the hell he wants. Fretboards. You need Brazilian. No, you don't. Brazilian Rose was not going to sound any different than East Indian. East Indian, Brazilian, same fucking thing. It's not going to sound any different. If you can hear the difference between East Indian and Brazilian, you're Superman. Okay? That's it. You're Superman. Dark boards. I like a dark board. I like it to be dark, uniform in color. Yeah, I do like that. But I also like them a little off and not uniformed. And I'm going to show you this in a second. Hold on. This is Nola. And you know what Nola is. Nola. Nola is, I only have, believe it or not, I only have 2 Cherry Sunburst. What? This is one. All the others are T-bursts and lemon drops and dark bursts and all that. I only have 2 Cherry Sunbursts. But look at the neck. Look at the bridge. Look at the fretboard. Okay? The fretboard has this long, and it goes all the way up, this long blonde streak through it. I flipped over when I saw that. I said, wow, I want that. That's cool. Look at that shit. And the top is great too, don't get me wrong. But the fretboard is what sold it on me. And I think it was Barry Clark I bought this from. I'm pretty sure it was Barry Clark. Maybe I'm wrong. This is an 05. Fabulous guitar. 05 was also, according to Kim, the turning point when the nitro changed and more plasticizers were put into it. But there's nothing wrong with a fretboard like this. To me, it has character. And again, I like, different ways, and I like flex, and I like to see it's a piece of wood. That's a piece of wood. I've seen so many 50s instruments, 40s instruments, 30s instruments that have Brazilian rosewood that looks like this. So if you're going to tell me Brazilian rosewood's always very dark, and it's another bullshit story. It's just not true. I like character. So if a guitar has character to it, that attracts me to it. Neck size. I like a variety of neck sizes. All historics have varieties of neck sizes. Just because it's a 59 Les Paul does not mean it's going to have a 59 neck, because there's no such thing. Just because it's a 60 Les Paul does not mean it's going to have a thin neck, there's no such thing. Those are generalizations. They're put there to give you an idea of what's most likely going to be, but you're always better off by feeling and playing the instrument, because once again, you may not like thick necks, or a thick neck to you may feel like a thin neck to somebody else, or a thin neck to them may feel like a thick neck. This is personal preference shit, and this comes down to each guitar player. All right, there's no thin necks are the best, they sound the best. Bullshit. Bullshit. It's bullshit. What do you like? What do you like? Sit down and play the guitar and you tell me, what do you like? Okay, I'm going to give you another one. See, you like this one better? I'm going to give you another one. Like this one better? You know what's funny? When I started buying guitars from Richie and Dave, they did that. They would say, do you like that one? Let me give you another one. Do you like this one? Give me another one. They just threw them at you. What do you like? What do you want? You know what I mean? You get what you want. You're buying it, spending a lot of money. This one has a softish CU-ish shape. It doesn't have much shoulders to it. It's a very, chunky ass neck. It doesn't taper too much at all. I went over this once before with this one. I like that because it has something that sits in the palm of my hand when I'm playing. It doesn't have too much shoulder, so nothing really gets in the way here. I don't play with my thumb. A lot of people do. I don't. So I really don't have a problem. I'll play chords like this sometimes every now and then, but I usually will play bar chords. 23's neck's a little bit more slimmer. It's not slimmer, but rounder. I have a 2010 Les Paul, and I showed that once on the thing, of the neck thing. That has a really round neck, really C-shaped neck. I love that. So it really depends. But for me, I like something that sits in your palm. Something that's not in your palm, that flat shit, that don't do it for me. No. And soft V's, my Martin has a soft V. It's kind of annoying sometimes. So that's what I look for. But again, that's subject. You take the guitar that you like off the wall. You sit down. You do not plug the guitar in. Why? Because you have to know what the sound of the guitar sounds like on its own. And believe me, this is a good tip. You get down, you play the guitar. Just a little tune. I haven't played in a while. How does it project? How does it sound? Do you like the way it sounds? How does it react to the way you're playing? Because everybody plays differently, and every guitar is different. So when you play a guitar, you may get one that fits with the way you play. You may get one that doesn't fit with the way you play. You may be fighting against the instrument because you don't fit. It's just a story. That's the way, Lucille, the story of Lucille, that's the way that came about. Because of that. You find one that fits for you. The wrong woman, it's the wrong woman, Or if you're a guy, if you're a girl, it's the wrong guy, same kind of thing. Then plug it in. Don't go for the overdrive right off the bat. Let's see what the fucking paths sound like. Let me tell you something. Pickups are not overdrive machines. It's not the point, okay? This is a jazz guitar. That is what a Les Paul is. That was what a Les Paul was designed for, to be a jazz guitar, not a rock and roll guitar. When this guitar was out, rock and roll was in its infancy. 1955, 1960, that era, it was no fucking Rolling Stones and all that kind of shit. This is a jazz guitar. These are supposed to sound clear, crisp. They're not supposed to have any humbucker. That's the whole point of them. See the pickups you like. Now, again, you don't have to remove these pickups. I remove all my pickups because I don't like the Gibson pickups. I still don't think they have a good pickup. I have John from Throwback. I have Mike O'Donoghue from Geppetto. I have Mark Stowe, OX4. I have Jim Wagner, have his pickups. I even have Fralin humbuckers. I consider Franlin a big builder. Small guy, only makes pickups, is always going to be better. Listen to them, what they sound like, crisp, clear, first. Then put some overdrive into it. Then do your thing, okay? Electronics. I remove my electronics. Do you have to remove the electronics? No, you don't have to move the electronics. You can leave the ones that are in there. The electronics that they put in the 2022s are not bad today. They're not bad at all. They're still not the best, but they're not bad. Pickups, they're not bad. They're still not the best. But play them. If you like them, keep them. That's what I'm talking about. But in all, it always comes down to that. There's always these, I don't know, what would you call them? Not stigmatisms, but there are all these cliches that, that the cliches, that everybody needs a light guitar, and you need Brazilian rosewood, and it has to be dark, and you want, you want this kind of matched top, and it's gotta be light and sound airy, and this and that and the other thing, and it's all load of complete bullshit. Tone is relative. Style is relative. And you really have to go on your own journey to decide what you like and what fits for you. And I can't stress that more, because my playing style has changed dramatically since I was a kid. People go, oh, look at my calluses, look at my calluses. I have no calluses anymore. This finger used to go like this. It doesn't anymore. Why? Because my playing style, I play very lightly now. I don't even barely touch the strings. I like extremely low action. If you can take a look, I don't know if you can get that one, but I like extremely low action. I didn't years ago. Years ago I didn't. I like Cherry Summer. Years ago, again, don't ever listen to people like that. Just don't. Listen to yourself. If you ask a question and you say, hey, should I buy this or should I do that? The answers that you're getting, remember, they are just advice. This is what that person likes. This is what this person likes. It's always just your best bet. If you can, you go to a guitar store and you play a whole bunch of them. You're going to decide to buy one. You may want a USA. You may not want a historic. You may not like it. You may want a USA. There's nothing wrong with a USA. There's nothing wrong with an Epiphone. Epiphone's a Gibson, by the way. It's the same company. It's the same fucking company. Anyway, but you may, again, remember that. So, price-wise, one more point, because it's getting long here, but one more point, price-wise. Reverb. Reverb is dangerous. Reverb is bad. Reverb is in no measure of the market, so don't think it is. Because Reverb says that this guitar should be $9,000 does not mean that it should be $9,000. That's nonsense. Reverb is a glorified eBay. That is what Reverb is. It's a great place. I look at Reverb every fucking couple of hours. I'm always looking at Reverb. But there's a lot of people on there who don't know what they're selling. There's a lot of people there try to make, people buy things more money than it should. Pretend, that this was better and that's better and you should listen to this. And again, this is what I'm talking about. Because when you see somebody with an ad like that and says, it's a featherweight and it's this and it's that and it's this. It's called free enterprise. It's called capitalism. They're trying to make you buy what they want to sell you. How are they going to do that? Well, if they make you think in here that you need Brazilian rosewood, so you should pay like $17,000, they win. If you educate yourself and realize, maybe I don't want Brazilian rosewood. See what I'm talking about? Never pay over $10,000 for a historic. Never. Never. Period. Never. And I'm gonna tell you, never even go close to, never go close to 5 or 6. Never. What's gonna sell the instrument will always be the top. Next will be the weight. That's what sells the instrument. Tone does not sell the instrument. Unfortunately, that's the truth. And even Gibson plays those games. So that's this little informative video. I have some other ideas for other ones. I want you to leave comments, please, because what do you want me to talk about? You want me to talk about something specific that I covered during a video or something? Put it in the comments. I do listen to them. This is how this one came about. I have ideas for other ones. I still haven't gotten around to them. I figured once a week. If you want more than once a week, tell me. I'll make them twice a week. Leave me feedback, people. Okay? Goodbye.